welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're venturing into a realm of male sexuality that often remains kind of whispered about: prostate pleasure.
Exactly.
Our compass for this journey is the ultimate guide to prostate pleasure, Erotic Exploration for Men and Their Partners, by Charlie Glickman and Aislinn Amirzian.
Yeah, and for some of you listening, this might be totally new territory, something you've only just started thinking about.
Or maybe you've heard bits and pieces.
Right. Others might have caught snippets before. Our goal here in this deep dive is to give a really thorough, but still easy to grasp look at prostate pleasure. We want to pull out the key stuff from Glickman and Amirzian's book.
Address those burning questions.
Exactly. And maybe some concerns people don't usually voice, really shed light on how it can potentially lead to, well, profoundly enhanced sexual experiences.
And these authors, Charlie Glickman and Aislinn Amirzian, they really know their stuff.
Yeah.
Glickman with Good Vibrations, Bend Over Boyfriend.
And Aislinn Amirzian, a longtime sex educator. Yeah, they definitely bring the expertise.
It's kind of wild, though. You can find tons about anal sex generally.
Right. But good, solid info specifically on male anal pleasure, on the prostate, it's been surprisingly hard to come by.
So this book really fills a gap.
A crucial gap, yeah. It's a much-needed resource for anyone curious about this side of things.
Absolutely. And look, we know that just mentioning anal sex or prostate stimulation can bring up stuff.
Oh, for sure. Taboo feelings, questions about masculinity.
Totally.
Yeah.
And we want to let you know we're going to tackle those concerns head on as we go through the material.
Plus, there's this growing curiosity about potential health benefits, isn't there?
Yeah, prostate massage for health reasons, which is kind of accidentally opened the door to pleasure for some people. Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. What is the prostate anyway?
Okay, so picture this. It's about 3, maybe 4 inches inside the anus. And it's towards the front of the body, not the back.
Towards the belly button, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. You can also get at it indirectly through the perineum, that patch of skin between the testicles and the anus.
And size-wise?
Think small plum, maybe a walnut. And crucially, the urethra, the tube for urine and semen, runs right through the middle of it.
Like a straw through the fruit.
Perfect analogy. And keep in mind, its size can change, with age. Things like DPH or, unfortunately, cancer can affect it.
So small gland, big role.
Right.
What's its main job, especially when we're talking sex?
Well, its key role sexually is during ejaculation, specifically in that first part, the emission phase.
Ah, right. Ejaculation isn't just one go.
Exactly. 2 stages, emission, then expulsion. During emission, the prostate and other glands release their fluids, the prostatic fluid, which is a big part of semen, into the prostatic urethra.
Okay.
Then in the expulsion phase, all that fluid gets forcefully pushed out. So yeah, it's vital for making and moving semen.
That clarifies things a lot. Now, you hear it called the male G-spot or P-spot all the time. Is that just hype, or is there something to it?
It's actually a really useful comparison. What's striking, and the book points this out, drawing on researchers like Laddaz, Whipple, and Perry, is how similar the descriptions of the sensation are, and even the location, compared to the female G-spot.
Huh. Interesting.
Calling it the P-spot or male G-spot really drives home the point. Men have this powerful internal pleasure center, too. It's not just women.
And they're in roughly the same area.
Roughly the same pelvic region, yeah. And seem to respond to similar kinds of pressure or stimulation. It suggests, a pretty fundamental similarity in our wiring.
So neurologically, what's happening? How does pressing there create pleasure?
Okay, so the arousal signals from the prostate, they travel through this network of nerves, a kind of relay system, up to the sacral spine, S2 to S4 region, and then back.
Spinal cord reflex.
Basically, yeah. Similar to how arousal builds from stimulating the clitoris or the penis, Beverly Whipple, a neuroscientist, suggested it's about massaging the actual arousal nerves that wrap around and go into the prostate gland itself.
So you're hitting the pleasure pathways directly.
Pretty much, yeah.
Now, the book also mentions something, maybe a bit more out there for some folks: Kundalini energy, chakras, full body sensations.
Right. It touches on this idea that prostate stimulation might tap into a deeper sort of root energy, maybe awaken Kundalini, leading to these full body orgasmic experiences.
Which does line up with what some men report, doesn't it? That
Right.
It feels bigger than just penile sensation.
Exactly. Waves of pleasure through the whole body. And one way to maybe connect this is that some belief systems link chakras to nerve plexuses, like the pelvic plexus. These run vertically through the body.
So maybe a connection there, even if the science isn't fully nailed down.
Precisely. The personal accounts definitely suggest something more widespread is happening than you might initially think.
Okay, let's pivot. Let's tackle some of those common worries and myths. The book dives right into that old, frankly offensive idea that, only homos and sissies get fucked.
Yeah, and this hits on such a crucial point about how rigid ideas of masculinity mess with our heads and our sex lives. Glickman and Emirzian just demolish that myth. They say, point blank, they've worked with men all across the masculinity spectrum, all sorts of sexual orientations, who love prostate play.
Just because it's not locker room talk doesn't mean it's not happening.
Exactly. The prostate's just anatomy. It can feel good for anyone, period. Doesn't matter who you sleep with or how manly you are. They even have a whole chapter called Real Men Don't, just to unpack this stuff.
Another hurdle is that feeling like it's taboo or just weird.
Well, weird is totally relative, isn't it? Think about how attitudes change. The book uses the example of anal sex with women used to be pretty hush-hush. Now it's much more mainstream.
Good point.
Maybe one day male receptive play will be totally normal too, and something else will be the weird thing. The real takeaway is focus on what feels good and right for you, not on what some outdated script says is okay.
So we know what it is. We've tackled some mental blocks. Let's get to the main event. The sexy prostate. The pleasure potential.
Right. And make no mistake, the prostate is an erogenous zone, just like the penis, scrotum, clitoris, nipples.
And the pleasure can be intense.
Incredibly intense, yeah. Many men report deeper, more full-body orgasms. And you can even orgasm just from prostate stimulation with no penile touch at all.
Wow. An orgasm without touching the penis. What's that like?
Well, the book describes it as potentially feeling really different from a typical penile orgasm. Sometimes it's like a series of intense peaks, maybe without that clear buildup and release you usually get.
More like waves.
Kinda, yeah. Michael Thomas Ford described it as repeated spice of orgasmic pleasure with no real resolution. It highlights that unique, maybe more sustained feeling.
And this ties into multiple orgasms too.
Potentially, yes. If you can separate the feeling of orgasm from the physical act of ejaculation, well, ejaculation usually means a refractory period, right? A recovery time.
Yeah.
But if you learn to have these orgasms without ejaculating non-ejaculatory orgasms, that recovery time might disappear. So you could potentially have several orgasms close together. Some guys report having a few like that before an ejaculatory one.
Sounds like it really varies from person to person, though.
Oh, totally. Someone in the book shared how sometimes a prostate orgasm is mind-blowing, other times less intense, even if the arousal was high. In those cases, just the feeling of stimulation itself can be the main pleasure.
And it's key for general anal pleasure, too, for many.
Absolutely. For lots of men who enjoy receptive anal sex, the prostate sensation is a huge part of it, maybe even the main focus.
The book also mentioned that direct pressure isn't always the best.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. Some guys actually find that stimulating the area around the prostate, like the walls of the inner sphincter, can be more intense than pressing right on the gland.
So experimentation is key.
Always. It really highlights how individual this all is.
And what about the psychological side, that feeling of doing something forbidden?
That definitely adds a layer for some people because there's this unspoken rule, often, that men don't receive penetration. Doing it can feel like breaking a taboo, which can be a turn-on in itself.
Exploring power dynamics, too. Dominance, submission.
Exactly. Penetration often gets linked with dominance, so it opens up avenues for fantasy play for those interested. But on the flip side, many people talk about the incredible intimacy and trust it builds. Being vulnerable like that.
Okay, this is all super interesting, but
Yeah.
I know a huge practical concern for anyone curious is, well, the mess.
The mess factor, yep. Top of the list for many beginners, totally understandable.
So, hygiene, preparation, what does the book say?
It gives some really helpful, straightforward tips. First, gentle washing outside with mild soap and water. Rinse well. Simple.
Makes sense.
Diet can help too. More fiber, less processed stuff can, minimize residue. Using condoms on toys is a must for hygiene.
Always condoms on toys. Got it.
And yeah, showering before play, washing the anal opening gently. Basic good practices.
What about enemas? Are they necessary?
Not necessary for everyone, no. But some people prefer them for that feeling of internal cleanliness, peace of mind.
If you do use one, any guidelines?
Safety first. Use warm water. Insert gently. Hold it as long as you comfortably can to let it soften things. Then release. Maybe repeat once or twice till the water's clear, but don't overdo it too often or too forcefully can cause irritation.
Right. Be gentle.
The book even mentions a more direct method, a gloved, lubed finger to gently check and remove anything obvious beforehand. Maybe not glamorous, but practical.
Gloves and lube sound like absolute essentials then.
100%. Non-latex gloves are usually best. Make sure they fit well. Or if no gloves, meticulous hand washing under the nails too before and after are negotiable. For comfort, for safety. The book talks about different types. Water-based is great, safe with everything. Silicone lasts longer. J-lube is that powder you mix, often used for like fisting or deeper stuff because it's super slick.
Can you mix them?
Yeah, absolutely. Experiment to find the texture you like.
What about hair down there? Trim. Shave. Does it matter?
Totally personal preference. Some like it smooth, some just trim. If you trim, use electric trimmers or blunt scissors carefully.
I am shaving.
Trim short first. Use a good, sharp razor, not cheap disposables.
Yeah.
Lots of shaving cream or lotion. Shave with the grain, hold the skin taut gently. Helps avoid razor burn and ingrown hairs.
Waxing.
An option for longer results, but probably best done professionally given the angles. Definitely avoid chemical hair removal creams right near the opening. They can really burn sensitive skin.
Okay, prepped and clean. Now, actually getting inside to reach the prostate, for a total beginner, where do you even start?
The book really pushes for solo exploration first. Get comfortable on your own time, no pressure, no performance anxiety.
Learn your own body first.
Exactly. Figure out what feels good to you. That makes you a better partner later because you can actually communicate what you like.
So, fundamental tips for going solo.
Nails. Short and smooth. Super important. Lube. Lots of it. Don't be stingy.
Goes glow.
Go slow, go gentle. No rushing, no jamming things in. Start small, one finger, maybe two. Pain is your signal to stop or change something.
Relaxation seems huge too.
Absolutely key, mentally and physically. Stress tightens those pelvic muscles. So find a quiet spot. Breathe deeply, focus on the exhale. Letting go. Try to consciously relax the sphincter muscles.
PC muscles. Do you need to work them out?
And not necessarily for strength at first, but just gaining awareness of them helps you relax them. Gentle insertion, feel the muscle contract and release, gradual stretching over time.
And mindset matters.
Big time. Anxiety kills pleasure. Be realistic. Don't expect fireworks instantly. Just focus on the present moment, the sensations. Some days are better than others.
Okay, comfortable with basic entry. How do you actually find the prostate?
Set the scene. Time, no distractions, comfortable position. Solo, maybe try reaching around from behind with your thumb if you can reach comfortably. Gentle pressure, small movements, exploring that front wall.
Or lying on your back.
Yeah, lying on your back, knees towards your chest, gives good access for a finger. Reach in, aiming towards the front, maybe 3-4 inches. Gently explore.
What are you feeling for?
Could be a sense of fullness, tingling, maybe a specific pleasure spot, even a mild urge to pee that's common. Just pay attention to any sensation.
And when a partner gets involved?
Communication ramps up to critical. Need that safe space to say, yes, that's good, or no, not that. Acknowledge it might be awkward at first. It's a learning curve for both.
And the stop anytime rule.
Absolutely essential. No judgment. The book suggests different positions for partner massage too. Kneeling behind, lying flat with hips raised on a pillow, edge of the bed, hands and knees. Each gives a slightly different angle.
Communication again. It seems like the absolute foundation. But how do you even start that conversation with a partner?
Good question. If you're the one bringing it up, the book suggests approaching it with confidence. Frame it as exploring mutual pleasure, new intimacy. Nothing wrong with being curious.
And for the partner being asked?
Create an open space. Try to understand why they're interested. Pleasure, intimacy, novelty, role reversal. Be ready for different reactions. Be flexible.
It could deepen the relationship.
Definitely. New discoveries, more understanding, more intimacy. It's a potential benefit for both.
Okay, conversation started. What are some actual partner massage techniques?
Well, fingers are super versatile. Vary the number, pressure, movement. Constant feedback is key. More pressure, less, right there. Experiment with different hand motions, maybe using your whole arm, not just the wrist, to avoid fatigue.
What about fisting? That sounds intense.
It is definitely an advanced technique. It can offer intense stimulation because of the pressure, but huge emphasis on research, safety, going incredibly slow, tons of lube, not something to jump into lightly.
And external massage on the perineum.
Yeah, that can work too. Pressing on that spot between the balls and anus can stimulate the prostate indirectly. Use fingers, thumbs, a gentle fist wave, even a rolled up sock or tennis ball. or specific toys like a prostate cradle. Again, communication finds the sweet spot.
Toys. Let's talk gear. What works well for prostate pleasure?
First rule, lube is essential with toys. Water-based, silicone J-lube, choose based on the toy material and what you're doing, maybe mix them up.
Material matters.
Hugely. Body safe, non-porous is best. Silicone, glass, metal, easy to clean. Porous stuff like jelly rubber. Always use a condom.
So specific toy types. Butt plugs.
Yeah, some butt plugs are great, especially ones with a curve to press on the prostate. Or vibrating ones. Look at the shape. And Narrow's toys are popular. They have this pivoting action. Nexus toys often have rolling balls or focused vibration.
Vibrators.
Can definitely enhance things. Maybe start without vibration just to locate the spot first. Things like the Hitachi Magic Wand with attachments or insertable vibes.
Dildos.
Yep. Ones with a bulbous or ridged head can milk the prostate with movement. Shorter ones, maybe around 6 inches, are often plenty long enough.
And strap-ons for partnered play.
For sure.
Yeah.
Allows the receiving partner to experience that unique pressure. Lots of harness styles. Choose a dildo shape that works for a prostate stem. Even double-ended ones exist.
Anal sex itself can stimulate the prostate too, right?
Absolutely. Key things. Even more lube needed because of the friction. And warm-up is vital fingers, smaller toys first. Don't rush into intercourse.
Angle is important.
Yeah, generally aiming towards the front, the belly button, is better than straight back, which can just poke it uncomfortably. The book mentions a seesaw motion, the base of the penis or toy, rocking against the prostate.
Positions matter too.
Definitely. Doggy style, over pillows, top leg up, bent over, missionary with legs positioned right, off the side of the bed, slings. They all change the angle and depth, hitting the prostate differently.
And using a strap-on for him. Any specific advice?
Address the potential mental stuff first, masculinity hang-ups, dominance ideas, reframe it as mutual pleasure, and pick a dildo shape that feels good on his prostate.
This brings us right back to that masculinity question. That feeling of, does this make me less of a man?
Such a critical piece. The book talks about the act like a man, box these rigid, often toxic rules society imposes.
And the consequences for stepping outside it.
Yeah, judgment, ridicule, worse. It forces guys to hide parts of themselves, their desires, their sexual interests. It's incredibly limiting.
Challenging the penis-only pleasure idea.
Exactly. The book pushes back hard on that. It encourages guys to define masculinity for themselves, free from these crappy expectations. Self-acceptance is everything.
Receiving penetration doesn't equal submissiveness.
Not at all. It's about mutual desire, respect, shared pleasure. The book also urges readers to unpack those negative links between receiving, femininity, homosexuality, and weakness. They're false connections.
Okay, shifting gears slightly. Prostate health. Does prostate play affect health positively or negatively?
The book gives a good overview. It touches on prostatitis, inflammation, different types, prostate cancer too. It challenges the simple testosterone link, points more towards chronic inflammation, discusses screening debates like the PSA test issues,
What about after cancer treatment?
acknowledges potential impacts like ED or dry orgasm, but notes there's less info specifically on how treatment affects receptive pleasure, mentions temporary rectal irritation after radiation as possible.
And for trans women?
Stresses the need for continued screening, even with hormone therapy, shrinking the prostate, or changing sensation. Finding trans-friendly doctors is key.
Is there any truth to the idea that prostate massage might have health benefits beyond pleasure? Like preventing problems?
The book covers this. Historically, it was used for things like weak erections. The theories involve flushing out fluids, clearing blockages, improving circulation, relaxing pelvic muscles.
Does modern research back that up?
It's mixed. For chronic pelvic pain, some studies show symptom relief, but maybe not curing the inflammation itself. There's also that long-held idea it might help prevent cancer or BPH by reducing inflammation, keeping the pipes clean.
But that's not proven.
Not definitively proven with strong science, no.
Yeah.
The authors are clear about that. And crucially, if you do have symptoms of prostate issues, see a doctor. This isn't medical advice.
Right. This information is for exploration, not self-treatment.
Exactly.
Wow. This has been incredibly comprehensive, a real deep dive. To wrap things up, what are the main takeaways?
Okay, key things. The prostate. Definitely an erogenous zone. Huge potential for intense, unique pleasure. Different from just penile pleasure.
And facing the fears is important.
Yeah, addressing the myths, the hang-ups about masculinity or taboo that can open up whole new worlds, solo or partnered. Hygiene, going slow, communication, those are the practical keys for safety and enjoyment.
And ultimately, it's personal.
Totally. What feels good is subjective. It takes experimenting, listening to your body, self-discovery, talking with partners. That's the path.
So a final thought for everyone listening.
Hmm.
Consider how understanding and maybe embracing this wider spectrum of sexual pleasure, moving beyond just the usual, could lead to, well, greater personal satisfaction and maybe even deeper connections.
Absolutely. And definitely check out the book, The Ultimate Guide to Prostate Pleasure, and other resources if you want more detail on techniques, toys, all of it. Keep asking questions, keep learning, keep exploring what feels good to you.